The economic situation in Russia continues to deteriorate, and Russians are already feeling it. Both food and non-food products are rapidly becoming more expensive. Economists call the meat, vegetable and fruit departments of supermarkets the inflationary disaster zone. The price increases since the beginning of the year have been measured in dozen %.
Egg prices increased by 13.1% in October compared to September, by 18.7% since the beginning of the year, and by 23.9% in annual terms. Last month, the price for chicken rose by 3.7%, since the beginning of the year by 29.1%, compared to October last year by 26.8%. The growth of prices was also observed for some types of fruit and vegetable products, which in general for the month rose in price by 1.9%, since the beginning of the year by 11% and annually by 24%, from the message of the Federal State Statistics Service on the website of the agency.
Already, almost 45% of Russian citizens do not have enough salary to cover their basic needs, and 36% of Russians live on the brink of poverty. These are the results of a survey by Russia's largest online job search company.
Inflation is accelerating in Russia, and this is a really big problem for many Russians. They see a rise in prices that is quite different from what Rosstat gives, or what the central bank reports to the government or the state. They see the price rises that they see in the shops. They see how their basket of goods is rising in price, and it is rising much faster. We are not talking about 6-7%, we are talking about tenths of percentage. People write to me about it all the time, how much certain goods have grown up in price. And this, in general, of course, is a great misfortune, but inflation will accelerate.
Back in July 2023, the Central Bank of Russia forecasted annual inflation at the level of 5 to 6.5%. In September, it revised its forecast.
The updated forecast takes into account the actual price growth, as well as the effect of increased government spending in the new budget. This year, prices will rise by 7 to 7.5%.
According to the Financial Times, Moscow has increased the spending part of the 2023 budget by at least 3.4 trillion rubles, and it is connected with the growth of the Kremlin spending on the war against Ukraine. As a result, mortgage prices have also risen sharply in the Federation. Average rates for the purchase of housing has already reached 14%. Russians also have to pay more for rent. In just 1 month, in some cities, the fee has increased by a quarter.
On average, in the country, the rent of one-room flats from September to October 2023 rose by 7%, up to 20,000 rubles per month. Two-room flats by 5.9% to 26,100 rubles, and three-room flats by 4.5% up to 33,000 rubles. However, in Moscow, the cost of one-bedroom apartment rose by 12.9%, a two-bedroom apartment by 12.3%, and three-bedroom apartment by 7.7%. In St. Petersburg, the prices jumped by 17.1%, 9% and 0.3% respectively, from the Moscow Times publication.
The Kremlin plans to spend up to 40% of its state budget on the war against Ukraine in 2024. Journalists from Important Stories calculated that this money could be used to increase funding for healthcare and education in the entire federation by 7 times. It is more important for Putin to spend this money on killing civilians in the neighboring country. This means that Russians will continue to become rapidly poorer. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Natalia Husaka, Volodymyr Stanhelov, UATV News.